Hi everyone, my name is Kevin, and in today's video we are going to look at surds. So surds in our case is the equations or any expressions that involves the square roots or radicals. So we can have something like 50 multiplied by 48, and we are asked to evaluate what is the solution to this expression. So the way we are going to do it is we're going to learn the first principle of solving surds. That is to know the perfect squares. What are perfect squares? If I multiply 1 by itself, I get 1. If I multiply 2 by itself, I get 4. If I multiply 3 by itself, I get 9. All of these values that I get as answers are called perfect squares. They are returned when you multiply a number by itself. The same could apply if I multiply 100 by itself. Answer that I'm going to get is going to be a perfect square. If I multiply 10 by itself, the answer that I get is going to be a perfect square. So when you're solving for surds, you are going to decompose whatever is inside the roots into perfect squares. For example, if I have 50, I can write it in the form 25 multiplied by 2, which is still equivalent to 50. And the same applies if I have 48, I can write it as 16 multiplied by 3, which still returns 48. So the next step is to decompose it even further. So you're going to write 25 by root 2 by root 16 by root 3. Now the next step, as you can see here, we have root of 25 or square root of 25, which will give us 5 by root 2 multiplied by 4 by root 3. Now, as you can see here, we have multiplication. So remember, multiplication does not have an order. So we're just going to multiply the numbers together. 4 by 5 is going to give us 20. Now, we have two root signs here, or rather two radicals with numbers that are different from each other. So the way it works is if these numbers are different, you're just going to have square root of this number by this number, which will give you 20 root 6 as your final answer, because we can't decompose root 6 further. But for some reason, if you had root 2 multiplied by root 2, you were going to get an answer of 2, because these radicals are the same. You're just gonna multiply them out and you get the numbers that are the number that is inside. The mistake that people make is they multiply this even further. They write 2 by 2, which gives them 4, which is not correct, because how this come about is root of 2, or the square root of 2, is the same as 2 to the power 1 over 2 multiplied by 2 to the power 1 over 2. Now, if you have exponents that have the same base, you add the exponent, or rather, if you're multiplying bases that have the same exponents, you add the exponent values. So 2 and 2 are the same. So you're going to add 1 over 2 plus 1 over 2, which obviously gives you 2 to the power 1, which is equivalent to 2. So this is how we come to this part. But for this part here, you multiply them out inside the square root because the radicals will not cancel, and then your final answer is going to look something like this.